Dr. Nate Samuels, who recently become a widower, travels to the Mopani Reserve in South Africa with his daughters Meredith and Nora for a holiday. After a long separation, Nate meets up with Martin Battles, a biologist and manager of Mopani, who first introduced him and his wife. Nate's wife's birthplace is the village where Martin brings Nate and the girls. Martin hears Nate's confession to him about his guilt for being cold to his wife after their split, which precipitated her terminal disease. His daughters are the reason for the journey. Martin takes the family on a tour of the reserve's restricted portions the next day. Martin reveals to them the presence of an injured lion in a local pride. Martin finds that the most of the Tsonga people in a nearby community have passed away. Feeling that a renegade lion that preys on humans is the culprit, Martin returns quickly to share the discovery. While driving, Nate comes across a wounded Tsonga man and is unable to help him. While Martin follows the lion, he gets mauled. Nate runs for refuge in the automobile after it ambushes him. As Meredith races off, she runs into a tree and leaves them stranded. Using a walkie-talkie, Martin warns Nate to keep away, claiming the lion is luring the others out by using Martin as bait. While trying to get assistance via the radio, Nate puts together a tranquilizer rifle. In an attempt to tame the lion long enough to retrieve Martin and make his way back to civilization, he charges at it. Meredith uses the confusion caused by the lion's onslaught to save Martin. The lion retreats when it knocks the gun out of Nate's hands, and Nora stabs it with a tranquilizer dart. Martin is returned to the automobile by Meredith, where Nate tends to his injuries. The lion appears to be unaffected by the tranquilizer and soon resumes following the group, much to their amazement. As dusk draws near, the recuperating Martin surmises that the lion lost its pride due to poaching and went on the rampage. The poachers show up shortly after and at first consent to pay to take the group to the village. When the poachers discover Martin, a fervent opponent of poaching, inside the vehicle, tensions increase. The majority of the poachers are killed when the lion attacks and disperses them. Nate finds the truck keys belonging to the poachers after slyly avoiding the lion. Although Meredith suffers a serious cut to her side, Martin manages to deter the lion long enough for the sisters to flee back to the car. When the car plunges into a gully, Martin gives himself up by igniting the gasoline leak, which severely burns the lion. With Meredith and Nora in tow, Nate fires up the truck and speeds off, having to stop before their fuel runs out. After getting out of the car, they stroll to a nearby abandoned schoolhouse. Nate tends to Meredith's wound and forages for water in the abandoned schoolhouse that the poachers used as their base of operations. When the lion shows up and starts stalking the girls, Nate comes back and frightens it away. Nate locks his daughters in a room and says he will come back once he has defeated the lion. Nate draws the lion to the nearby lion pride that Martin assisted in raising after startling it into pursuing him. Before the pride males step in and put an end to the renegade, the lion attacks and nearly kills Nate. When a Mopani employee shows up, Nate is about to pass out but is saved. A recuperating Nate tells his girls he loves them when he awakens in a hospital. Eventually, the three of them go back to the preserve together as a family and replicate the picture that Nate's late wife took of herself with her favorite tree.